Few athletes in the history of professional sports can match the extraordinary success enjoyed by Michael Jordan. After entering the NBA in 1984 as a gangly rookie with superhuman leaping ability, Jordan became an unstoppable scoring machine and multi-time champion. Don't forget to watch today's video to the very end for 10 things you didn't know about Michael Jordan. Number 10. Never cut from his high school basketball team. The story of Jordan being cut from his high school basketball team has long been part of his personal narrative. But like a teenage Jordan dangling from his chin-up bar to grow taller, the truth has been somewhat stretched. Jordan was never actually cut from the team. He tried out for the Laney High School NC varsity as a sophomore and wound up on the junior varsity instead. And a big reason for that was that Laney was in dire need of taller players. So they passed on the 5'10 Jordan in favor of his 6'7 friend Leroy Smith. What is true is that Jordan used this perceived slight as motivation to work his butt off to improve, which led to impressive results when a growth spurt shot him up to 6'3 as a junior. Number 9. Partnership with Nike almost never happened. Jordan's longtime professional association with Nike nearly didn't come to fruition. He initially wanted to wear Adidas after entering the NBA and was also heavily pursued to endorse a much smaller brand called Spot Built. But Nike threw out the full-court press to sign a Chicago Bulls rookie, offering a then outrageous deal of $500,000 per year for 5 years and the chance to tailor a sneaker to his liking. Jordan still wanted to go with his original choice and went back to Adidas one more time. But the company was in no position to match the ransom offered by Nike. Thus was born a collaboration made in marketing heaven. Nike launched the Air Jordans in May 1985, and by the end of the year the line had generated more than $100 million in revenue. Number 8. College degree in cultural geography. Although he left the University of North Carolina a year early to pursue his pro career, Jordan received his degree in cultural geography in 1986. So what exactly does one do in that field anyway? As he explained in a Q&A session at his basketball camp many years later, cultural geography is an introduction to meteorology, which means that if Jordan's preferred career choice of dunking over 7-footers didn't pan out, then his backup plan was to become a weatherman. Gives a whole new meaning to the name Air Jordan, doesn't it? Number 7. Avid golfer. Jordan's passion for golf began in the summer of 1984 when he first ventured to a course with a group that included future golf pro Davis Love 3. He parred one of the holes that day, an experience that led this supremely confident athlete to believe he could par all 18 with a little more practice. The quest for perfection led to his squeezing in as many rounds as possible in his downtime, including a notorious snubbing of President George H.W. Bush's invitation to the White House with the rest of the NBA champion Chicago Bulls in 1991. He went on to hold the Michael Jordan Celebrity Invitational Pro-Am Golf Tournament in Las Vegas from 2001 to 2014. Number 6. Switch to baseball was inspired by his father. The idea behind Jordan's surprising decision to leave basketball for a baseball career in 1993 had taken root a few years earlier. His dad, James, had always loved baseball, and with Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders having some success as two-sport athletes, James suggested his son could do the same. As such, when James was killed in a carjacking incident in July 1993, Jordan sought to honor his dad's wishes by picking up a glove. While he famously struggled in his lone season of minor league baseball, some were impressed by how well he adjusted to a game he hadn't played since high school. Terry Francona, his manager that year, has said he believes Jordan could have made the big leagues had he kept at it. Number 5. Gambling, one of his hobbies. Another of Jordan's well-known hobbies is his proclivity for gambling. Reports abound of how he goaded teammates into betting on almost every activity, from golf to card games to rock, scissor, paper throwdowns, but his desire to constantly up the stakes occasionally left him on shaky ground. In 1992, Jordan was subpoenaed to testify about a $57,000 check he gave to a suspected drug dealer after a weekend of poker and golf. The following year, he was the subject of a book by businessman Richard Esquinas titled Michael and Me, Our Gambling Addiction, My Cry for Help. Jordan never drew any gambling-related punishment, but for years a rumor persisted that his year off to play baseball was the result of a secret suspension imposed by NBA Commissioner David Stern. Number 4. More than $1 billion through Nike partnership. For all he accomplished in pro basketball, including 6 championships, 5 MVP awards, and 10 scoring titles, Jordan was the league's highest-paid player in just 2 of his 15 NBA seasons. Fortunately, endorsement deals with brands like Coca-Cola, Gatorade, and Hanes kept him from having to scrounge through the cushions for loose change. His aforementioned relationship with Nike has proven the most profitable. In 2020, it was revealed that Jordan has made more than $1 billion from Nike. He also benefited from the appreciation of NBA franchises after purchasing a majority share of the NBA Charlotte Bobcats, now Hornets, in 2010. Long considered basketball royalty, Jordan now unquestionably gets paid like a king after cracking Forbes' list of the world's billionaires in 2015. Number 3. Jordan's favorite number. Jordan's favorite jersey number was 23. He was number 23 in high school and college, as well as for his career with the Chicago Bulls. Only once did he wear another number when playing for them. On Valentine's Day in 1990, a thief stole his jersey from the locker room before the game. Jordan tried on a fan's replica jersey, but it was too small. The equipment manager found an extra jersey that only had a number and no name on it. He was number 12 for the night and still scored 49 points. Number 2. His father's tragic death. Jordan's father, James Jordan, was shot to death by 2 teenage thieves while he slept in his car. They dumped his body in a swamp in South Carolina, where it was discovered in Bennettsville. They were caught, convicted, and sentenced to life in prison. His father's murder was responsible for Jordan's decision to switch to baseball, as his father had encouraged him to do for several years before his death. The authorities said James Jordan was killed in the early hours of July 23 as he napped along a North Carolina highway. They described the shooting as a random act of violence, a carjacking, but that didn't stop speculation that there was more to the story, namely that the killing was connected to Michael Jordan's gambling. The death devastated Michael Jordan, and 2 months later he retired from the NBA for the first time, causing a seismic shock in the sports world. It made me realize how short life is, how quickly things can end, how innocently, Jordan said at the news conference announcing his retirement. And I thought that there are times in one's life when you have to put games aside. I wanted to give more time to my family. I've been very selfish about centering things on my basketball career. Now it's time to be unselfish with them. In 1995, Demery pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, among other charges, and agreed to testify against Green. Much of the state's case rested on Demery's testimony, and Green was also convicted of first-degree murder. Both were given life sentences. Number 1. Attended the University of North Carolina. After high school, Michael Jordan decided to attend the University of North Carolina. Jordan was involved in numerous basketball programs for several university basketball teams, such as the South Carolina Gamecocks, Virginia Cavaliers, Syracuse Orange, Duke Blue Devils, and the North Carolina Tar Heels. He eventually decided to attend the University of North Carolina, where he studied cultural geography. His addition to the team was instrumental to the team's success at the 1982 NCAA Division I Championship, which they had not won in 25 years. He was one of the top collegiate players during his career at the University of North Carolina, which is why the Bulls selected him with the 3rd overall pick in the 1984 draft. But he was a late bloomer because he didn't join the varsity team in high school until his junior year, which helped him land a spot with the Tar Heels in the early 80s. Jordan would go on to have one of the best careers in NBA history, leading the Bulls to 6 NBA titles and earning Finals MVP honors each time. He also earned 5 league MVP awards during his career and was named an All-Star 14 times, winning the All-Star Game MVP award 3 times. He was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2009. With that, we end today's video. Consider subscribing to our channel in order to join in a next time for more of such interesting content.